What up, people? We're back again with the Sideline Specialists, episode number 24. We're talking Chicago Bears sucking yet again. George Pickens is the menace of the NFL. Jerry Jones wants to steal the sun, the moon, all of the planets, and probably become Gru from the Minions. So let's jump into this week's episode.
Welcome to Sideline Specialists.
And we are back. What's going on, Tom?
Outside of the ham slice that is now my hand, everything's great. Yeah, today was a nice chill day. Sports have been sporting, and it's been a good time. My Flyers were up 3-0. It's 3-2 now, so they need to chill out. But everything else going well.
Hopefully they rein it back in here. At least both of our football teams won. The Ravens and the Eagles both won.
Indeed.
The Sixers won their second game of the season last night. So
because you
happy
took
about
over the
that.
job as Jared McCann's nail tech, as we can see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like Michael Jordan in Space Jam had like his secret stuff. Like my artistic abilities as a nail tech is what gives Jared McCain his special abilities.
And then he goes on TikTok and absolutely slays.
Exactly.
As we know.
I gotta say, the guy has a good singing voice.
He's just a talented individual.
I don't know.
And you're like spread the wealth, my guy. But
if I was able to sing like he could, I would like dunk on somebody and sing at them, because like what else would be more disrespectful?
Literally. But I can see the future now, because he plays in Philly, and as we all know, the Eagles make a Christmas album. I can foresee the future that he will probably end up on one of those, which will be awesome.
Jason Kelsey needs to get him on the phone stat.
For real. Yeah, I mean, just obviously we are NFL focused podcasts for the most part, and this week was just ridiculous again because the season's just been stupid all year. Shenanigans. And then even the game that's on tonight, for those of you that are watching Monday Night Football, the Rams look like a JV team, and then the Dolphins so far are just looking way the hell better.
Finally.
But yeah, I mean, the interception they just had, Anthony Walker, it was like Calais Campbell tipped it at the line, and then he like Palomalu'd it, like the two-hand diving, scooped it as it was about to hit the ground.
Crazy.
Yeah. So they have good field position again. Let's see what they do. But
I would love if they actually threw the ball to Tyreek Hill. Just a thought.
I know. If they could remember that he, in fact, does exist and is open quite often.
But looking at our picks from week 10, I am just chalking up the Ravens pick every week, like we have talked about. So I'm fine with losing that every week if I have to. Because, again, when I don't pick them, they win again. Definitely, as we talked about before hitting go live, they had no business winning this game from start to finish. Not even just all the missed calls at the end, but they didn't have any business winning this game from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I went to bed when it was 21-14 Bengals, because I was just like, I was trying to watch the game in bed, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be exhausted tomorrow just for the Ravens to shit the sheets and lose a game like this.
Yeah.
And I wake up, and the funny thing was, I saw your text about them missing the 2-point conversion. And in my head, I'm like, oh, last year the Ravens went for 2 to win the game like 5 different times and missed it every single fucking time. So the Ravens probably came all the way back and missed the 2-point conversion to lose the game. That's what I thought because I saw your text before I saw the score.
Yeah.
And then I go to look at the score and I was like, holy shit, the other team missed a 2-point?
Yeah. And it was like, but that's the play that's been getting the most criticism because there's just,
Exactly.
there were so many things that occurred on that single play that were overlooked. And it is crazy. The refereeing this year has just been across the league, a degree of just shit that we haven't seen in a long time.
It's been a joke.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Steven Adams sighting on an NBA court.
Hey, my guy.
Let's fucking go. The Australian brick wall has returned.
Hail to Pitt.
And to give a Dolphins update, Jalen Waddle dropped a pass that hit both his hands and then his face, by the way. So that's pretty fucking incredible.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, no, that was bad. I mean, as we're looking at the picks here, obviously we always do this every week where we make sure we do have like differing picks on a handful of games so that we're not just gonna copy paste our records. So I get the dub with the Cardinals. He gets the dub with the Niners. We both took the Broncos because we were feeling spicy and minus a blocked fucking field goal because of course the fucking Chiefs do some shit like that to stay undefeated. Of course they do.
That's exactly what I said when it happened.
Like, piss off. Please. Like, I saw who they play next week, and I don't pray. I have Jesus on my arm, and I don't pray. I fucking prayed to Josh Allen to literally go Super Saiyan fucking 7 and just shit on them. Please. I need it. I don't care.
I need Amari Cooper to be healthy. I need Keon Coleman to be healthy.
I need Dawson Knox and fucking, who's the other one? Kincaid?
Yeah.
Just fucking go nuts. James Cook run for 3,000 yards in a game. I don't care. Please. 9-1. I'm tired of this shit. They're not that good. And we all know they're not that good. They've trailed in every single game. Like if they ran into the Bucks when they were healthy, do you know who wins that game? Not Kansas City, period. But they get them when they're all hurt because of course they do. It just sucks. I'm tired of it. Yeah. It's so damn frustrating. But we're looking at this. The clearest standout shocks of the week are Atlanta losing to New Orleans.
Yes.
And Chicago getting. I mean, it wasn't a game. They lost 19-3 at home to New England. And they looked so lost every play. It was just appalling.
The fact that they could only muster up a singular field goal against the Patriots. And like the Patriots, no, don't get me wrong. The Patriots defense isn't like the worst in the league by any means. But 3 points against the Patriots?
All right. Yeah, exactly. Like it's what did we do? Let's go ahead and consult DJ Moore. Hey DJ, how you feeling? Move your picks. Move the pick. Oh yeah, baby. How you feeling, DJ? Oh boy. I mean, this face right here.
Free DJ.
Even in the game last week, that was the most viral clip of the week for sure. Was the one play where Caleb Williams is clearly still scrambling around and DJ just goes to sit down on the bench. It was just like, God, tell me a player wants to be anywhere else without saying it. I mean,
and then the one where he was
him.
like on the ground and he like rolled to the sideline and immediately just took his helmet off and just went to the bench.
And I mean, think about him, right? It's like where he went from fucking Carolina, and he was very good in Carolina.
Yeah.
Very good. And then he goes to Chicago and gets I believe, their highest contract extension ever as a franchise, which is also mind-blowing that it took them that long to spend any kind of money like that on a player ever. I feel bad for these vets, and then I feel bad for even Caleb Williams, because the coaching staff of the Chicago Bears is a fucking atrocity outside of their defensive coaching. So,
right. Like, I just want to say, DJ Moore had past his prime Cam Newton. Kyle Allen one season was the quarterback for 12 games.
Sam Darnold probably right.
Along with Cam Newton and Will Grier. 2020 was Teddy Bridgewater and PJ Walker.
Teddy B. And then just a reminder for everybody out there, PJ Walker ended up in like literally the XFL.
Yes.
So.
And then 2021, he had Darnold, Cam, still Cam, and PJ Walker again.
Oh boy.
And then 2022, he had Baker, Darnold, and PJ Walker again.
Yeah. And that was still enough for him to end up getting such. I mean, like, we could see how good he was. It didn't matter who was under center. That's how good DJ Moore is.
The least amount of yards and receptions he had in a season was his rookie year with 55 receptions for 788 yards. He then went on to post 3 straight over 1,000-yard seasons with 4 touchdowns in each of those. And then the last one in 2022 had 888 yards on 63 receptions and 7 touchdowns. And even last season with Justin Fields and fucking Tyson Bagent.
Yep.
And even 2 games of Nathan Peterman.
Oh my God. The worst QB in NFL history, ladies and gentlemen. Literally.
He had 96 catches for 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Dude is a fucking unit. What a unit.
But this year, with Caleb Williams, he has 40 catches for 398 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Think about that too. For a guy who's, like, you look at his previous catches related to yardage, they're not using him deep.
Nope.
They're taking the short little, like, 1 second after the snap, he's just stood where he was when the play lined up, and the other receivers on that side are blocking for him, and then he'll gain what he gains. That's because the depth of play calling for Chicago right now is like more shallow than a kiddie pool. Like, it's embarrassing. And and it's so obvious. So
he has his lowest yards per target, lowest yards per game, lowest yards per reception, all in this season.
Insane. And you can see that, and it's like, I would blame Caleb Williams if not for the fact that every single week for like the last 3, they show Caleb on the sideline and he looks so fucking frustrated with anything the coaches have to say to him. And you can blame him if you want and be like, oh, he's uncoachable, he's just a diva. He's not. This staff is pathetic, and they're getting exposed right now because the level of talent that they have available to them and they are just fully squandering is shocking. I don't care that Keenan Allen's not young anymore. He still balls, period.
The offensive line is one of the worst in the entire league.
And it's so clear on tape, too.
It's so bad. It's just like, I remember seeing a clip where somebody was like, I don't even know what, I think it was like somebody said number 76. I don't even know what he's doing in this play. He was literally not blocking anybody and just like moving to the left with nobody there.
Excellent. Things we love to see, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, all right. So Tua just threw a pick, but the refs are talking, so we'll see if that stands. I will give you the update on that when I have it.
OKC is still balling right now. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's just doing anything he wants.
Fuck yeah. Love it. I love that guy.
SGA is so fun to watch.
Agreed. That team is just fun to watch. It's just a shame that Chet's hurt because he's a big part of that, like youth movement and what he just brings to the team.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. It was a penalty on the return, so it is an interception.
Okay.
But it's a 15-yard penalty on the rookie Braden Fisk for a blindside block, and I'm seeing it right now, and it absolutely was a blindside block. So to be fair, good call, but Rams ball at the Dolphins 43 to start the drive, and they need that because they're down 10-0. So they got to get something moving here. The Dolphins defense has not been impressive this season. Tell me Kyron Williams just fumbled on the first fucking play.
Oh,
I think he literally did. Hold on. I think he actually did, unless we see that he was down, but let's take a look. I think they might be calling him down by contact.
I'm actually playing my wife in fantasy this week, and it's going into the Monday night game. I was down by 1 point. I have Waddle, and she has Kyron.
I believe. Oh man, this is going to be a really close call because even the ball was like moved a little bit in his hands, but he was still clearly gripping it to a degree. And he was down, and then he's fully on the ground, and then the ball kind of pops out then. So I'm sure McVay will challenge this. Whether he wins it or not, we'll see. This is a weird one. This is actually a weird one. I would actually hate to be the command center on this one, but Jesus, man. This is why, like, we all criticize the refs. I would fucking hate to be one, trust me.
Oh, I would too. Fuck that.
Are they not? Okay, he's not even going to challenge it. I guess he has zero faith in them overturning it. I wish I had the replay. I could just bring it up because you can see what I mean. Like, imagine I was holding it like this, right? Like you have it correctly corralled.
Right.
He goes down, it goes across his body, and he's kind of like holding it like this with his left hand. And then he hits the ground, and his own lineman kind of like kicks it out of his hand, but he's fully laying down.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was just weird all around. Maybe that's why he just didn't challenge because he probably looked at it and was like, yeah, there might not be enough to overturn that.
Right. And you don't want to lose the challenge already.
No, not this early.
Yeah.
But now the Dolphins have it back at midfield, so
okay.
Yikes.
For the rest of the week, I don't want to say it was surprising, but the Giants losing to the Panthers was pretty bad. Bryce Young was so excited, and it was like his Super Bowl so far this year, which, like, I'm happy for Bryce Young. Don't get me wrong, but
same. Stoked for him because he literally looked like finally we actually saw joy on that man's face. And I'll be honest, like, as an Eagles fan, I hate the Giants. Seeing them lose is wonderful, but seeing Bryce Young as happy as he was fantastic because not only has he had to go through a lot trying to succeed on a team that's really bad, getting benched, to find himself starting again and have 2 wins in a row has got to just feel so good.
Oh, yeah.
And
1,000%.
Yeah, just elated for him as a human being more than a player. Like, I know he's just going to have a great week mentally, the positivity of this. So, and to win in a place where literally, like, you're never probably going to play again.
Right.
Also really cool.
But you probably also just picked up some international fans that, like, now it's cool. Like, your name is all the way in Germany. Like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to Sean Hockley for actually speaking German on one of those false start calls. That was pretty funny. But then the one thing I do want to say, though, Bryce Young got roasted for, like, pretty much looking like he was crying when he got benched. And he was going through it, obviously, with how bad the team is and how bad he was playing. But then, I don't know if you saw the end of the Steelers-Commanders game, but the Steelers had 4th and 1, with like a minute or less left in the fourth quarter, and the Commanders had no timeouts. They burnt their last one because they thought the Steelers were going to punt because they were at like their own 48. The Steelers go to like bring the offense back on the field. Everybody knew they're just trying to get them offsides.
And
Literally
then the rookie jumped.
everyone.
And then the rookie jumped. Yep.
The rookie jumped. The rookie was on the sideline crying, actually crying. And
I mean,
I felt bad for the dude. Like, yeah, like you did just lose the game technically. Like, I mean, one play never loses the game, but like in this moment, you lost the game.
Yeah. But here's the way I think about it. I'm like, I would rather see a guy get emotional in that way and show me that he gives a fuck than see a guy not caring at all. Also, by the way, while you were discussing that, Tua fumbled and the Rams got the ball back. This shit is getting out of fucking control, bro.
This game is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, so they've exchanged the ball, 3 turnovers right around the 50 in the last minute of clock time. But the Rams now have the ball 2nd and 10 from the Dolphins 30-something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was just we talked about that game last week. That was obviously a game that stood out to us as far as the matchups this week. And it really didn't, like for the Steelers, it makes them look as good as we did believe they were with Russ.
Right.
And then for the Commanders, it doesn't really hurt them, in my opinion, because yes, that's a tough loss at home. However, you played one of the top defenses in the NFL and you lost by 1. And it was a rookie that made a mistake that ended up really just ending the game. We don't know how it would have gone after that if they had to punt, whatever. There's no telling they would have actually gone and scored. But yeah, I mean, amazing game. Right. And Russ is continuing to look like the correct choice. And good on Mike Tomlin. Again, I'll praise him as much as I have to for making that gutsy switch. But we do have to discuss Pickens for just assault and battering the corner after that interception, because he just crashed out on that guy and it was just wild.
Dude, George Pickens, he's starting to become like one of the funniest people in the NFL.
Well, like, it's just amazing that the highlight reel from that game includes one of the nuttiest catches of the year.
Oh,
just like truly insane body control. And then he just like gives up on a ball on a play, gets picked by the corner who's like 5 yards behind him, and then he just mugs the fuck out of the other corner. And you're like, why? just
For those who are watching the video, we have it up right now. And it's like he made a business decision where he was like, I'm not catching that guy. Fuck this guy.
He just like there's just zero reason whatsoever, zero benefit to the play, and it's hilarious.
On top of that, his stiff arm where he decided to just jump but try to stiff arm at the same time. I was like, that's not how leverage works, right?
He's straight comedy, but we need to really start appreciating the fact that, this dude's really, really, really good.
He's outstanding.
The upgrade from Kenny Pickett to Fields and Russ is just evident. It's just clear as day. And with Russ, he is just he's balling, and I'm loving it because as much as I hate how good the Steelers have been over the course of NFL history, when they are good, it makes better playoffs. It just makes for better everything. And I mean, that division, obviously, as we know, always fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because even as we already talked about Bengals and Ravens, it's like the Bengals with their record are obviously going to struggle to make the playoffs, but any game they're in is going to be good because their offense is just insane. So, Looking forward to the rest of the year for that. I think that the Steelers are definitely a shoe-in for a wild card at a minimum. Same with the Ravens. He is literally fucking Hulk Hogan leg dropping from the top rope. I don't understand.
Why did he even jump there? There was no reason to jump.
I love the caption too. Pickens top 5 most entertaining wide receiver to watch, and he's not 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. He's just the prototype. he's the prototype.
My god.
I love it.
Dude is just crazy.
But it is amazing when you see psycho energy come out in a player that's as good as George Pickens is, because we know like it, just athleticism, skill, everything. He has it all, and then he just has this personality that is just off the fucking rails.
I'm trying to find the video of the interview with Jerry Jones.
Oh God.
Because we obviously have to talk about how terrible the Cowboys are right now. Dak is probably out for the season.
No, he's going to get surgery. He is going to get surgery, and he's going to be out for the year. And if I'm the Cowboys here, here's the truth, right? You are not making any kind of late season run to the playoffs. It's not happening. You acquired Trey Lance in a trade where you got him basically for free when he was drafted as highly as he was for as much draft capital as he was. Start fucking Trey Lance. Like, Cooper Rush can just like, the dude is a bench riding player for the rest of his life. He played so badly. But you saw moments when Trey Lance was on the field of just like a little bit of potential. Like, obviously there were mistakes made. That's fine. It's a losing season. Let Trey Lance play. Just let him play. If you can see anything in him that makes you think that it's worth keeping him around in case you really do lose all faith in Dak at some point, or he comes back from this injury and looks horrible, like, you got somebody you can put in there for a year, have a shit season, draft somebody, whatever. But, like, I'm an Eagles fan, obviously. I'm wearing my AJ jersey. Like, it was just such a strange game because it was 7-6 at one point, and it felt so fucking bad because Hurts was trying to play hero ball. He was holding on to the shit for 12 fucking years instead of just getting out of the pocket, throwing it away, which I hate when he does that. Parsons was all over him. He had that fumble, and then the Eagles somehow miraculously held that shit to a field goal.
Yeah, that was surprising.
It was just very strange game, and then in the second half, or like late second into the second half, the Eagles just clearly were like, nah, actually, we are way better, and we're just going to show you. And they did. And I love that from them because a lot of times in my lifetime, the Eagles would just go into a game, start at shit, and end at shit. There would be no adjustment, no improvement. But they've been on this win streak. Their defense has been playing insane. I mean, 5 takeaways again. Obviously, it doesn't matter who it's against. 5 takeaways in a game is like incredibly impressive.
The fact that their first and second round picks are looking like first and second round picks is humongous for them.
That's the biggest deal, right? Is you took the risk of, in the offseason, you cut Avonte Maddox, and then eventually, obviously, they brought him back, but for more like depth. But when Maddox is in, it's just like they go at him because they know he's not that good anymore because he's been hurt too many times. His athleticism and what made him good is just kind of gone. They starting DeJean, I think 4 weeks ago.
Something
I think the week after the bye, so I'll say 4 weeks ago. And it just clearly instantaneous upgrade.
He's been all over the field.
He's everywhere you want him to be without being overly aggressive or having the kind of rookie mentality or rookie mistakes you would assume would come out right away. And then you also have him on kick returns doing extremely well because this dude, when you, like, anybody who doesn't know what Cooper DeJean is like as an athlete needs to do yourself a favor and look up his basketball highlights and his track highlights because this dude is a freak. I mean, he's not that tall. He really isn't. but the dude's dunks look insane. So
Yeah.
he has the vert ability, which is an incredible asset to have as a DB in the NFL. You want to be able to just go up to that high point and fight for the ball always. His speed off snap, like his reaction time is just elite. And then Quinyon, it doesn't even matter. I mean, like the Quinyon thing is just crazy to me because you look at what Jamar Chase just did to the Ravens. He had 2 catches for like 14 yards when Quinyon was his primary coverage guy.
Yeah.
When the Eagles played the Bengals. I mean, it's just like literally night and day. So
He's been ridiculous in coverage.
I'm so stoked for the front office because obviously it was 2002 was the last time the Eagles took a corner in round 1. And it was Lito Shepherd, and he obviously played for the Eagles for a very long time.
I was about to say, I was like, it's either Lito Shepherd or Sheldon Brown.
Well, they took both in that draft. It was like a
Right.
copy paste. They took Lito first round, Sheldon Brown second round, and then this year we took Quinyon and then Dejean in second. And it just literally, obviously, took so long for them to go back to that well of that position that clearly matters so much. But if you're going to play the waiting game, clearly they did it well. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Right.
I don't mind that it took them so long. They clearly saw something in these guys that was just different than any of those years before. And even watching I think DraftKings I think it was DraftKings that made it, but they did a full draft follow along for Cooper DeJean. And one of my best favorite videos I've ever watched, like sports related, because you meet his family, you meet his brothers, and they're hanging out in this like freaking warehouse in the middle of Bumblefuck, Iowa. And he's getting like prank called from Green Bay numbers because obviously the Packers were a team that were very like predicted to take him.
Right.
And then his agent answers the phone from Howie, and he's on the phone for like 15 seconds before he goes, "Yeah, this is legit," hands it off to Cooper, and just the amount of excitement in Howie's voice, you're like, yeah, this means a lot for everybody involved, not just the family, but the Eagles itself, how excited they were to get him.
Right.
And clearly that excitement was warranted. I mean, they literally, at this point, it's been 3 games straight without giving up a touchdown, which I don't care who you're playing. That's impressive as shit. Because any single play somebody can just slip, fall, anything. And then a big play happens. And it hasn't happened. So I'm trying to not get overhyped. But the way we beat the Giants and even the way we beat the Jags, like we literally dominated that game and some bullshit kept it close and then come back in this game and just demolish Dallas. Obviously it's a short week thankfully it's a short week for both teams involved in this game, but the biggest test of the year, in my opinion, based on the entire schedule, the Eagles have Washington this Thursday night, and this will really tell everybody a lot. It's in Philly, which I do believe makes a difference. But I'm actually really looking forward to it because I want to know what these teams are.
Yep.
And even if the Eagles lose, I know it. Like if it's as long as it's close and they lose, I'll be like, all right, you know what? I can live with this because Washington's a good team. I'm not one of those psycho fans in Philadelphia that's just going to go fucking screaming through the streets. But yeah,
But it's more fun that way.
It is. I'll probably punch something, but no one will know about it, so it won't matter. But and this was a game where Sirianni clearly just fucked off and didn't try to ruin it.
Right.
And because the play calling was definitely Kellen Moore, clearly.
Oh yeah.
Like that, and anybody who wants to talk shit on Jalen, that pass to AJ Brown on the sideline.
Oh, that was a big time pass.
Mother of God, that pass was flawless. Like AJ literally didn't eat. There was not a moment of I need to slow down or speed up. It literally just went where he was going to be. Period. Yeah, Jalen. I as much as I will criticize him for holding the ball too long, that's the only thing I have on him this year. That's it.
Right.
His passing accuracy has been fine. He has his guys back now. So anybody who wants to say, oh, he really sucked early in the season, it's like, yeah, obviously, when you're playing with second stringers and practice squad guys, you're like, as a quarterback, it's like you cannot rely on them the same way you would on Pro Bowl caliber receivers, period.
Yep.
And then
we talked about that with CJ Stroud.
Yeah. And I have, like, obviously Stroud had 2 picks this week. By all means, they should have won that game. You have 5 interceptions by your fucking defense. You should win that damn game. They didn't. But I think that actually says more about the Lions and their resilience and refusal to ever just give up than it does about Houston, because they are still missing Nico Collins, and obviously Diggs is out for the year. So,
yeah. But I wanted to play this clip real quick about the whole Jerry Jones in the stadium thing.
Not the sunlight. Oh,
from the
no.
Pat McAfee show.
Perfect.
What Jerry had to say about the sun potentially being a reason why CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch a ball.
By the way, we know where the sun's going to be when we decide to flip the coin or not. So we do know where the damn sun's going to be in our own stadium.
Okay, we fucking know. All right, enough of the questions.
You want me to tear the whole fucking stadium down, build a new one? Come on. Real.
Sauce right now, Adrian. It's got a little sauce.
How could he not? And all of his, like, I think, was he standing right outside like an elevator when he's doing his pressers? Like, where does he decide to do this?
So I think that is the same spot every single time. It has to be.
The play is crazy, to be fair.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
It does look terrible. Like, when I was watching the game, like, man, there's so many different, so much like shade and then sun and then the angle of this. Like, it is weird. It really is.
The ball goes from shade to sun, too.
Yeah. You're trying to get that to be helpful for you because you know it. Like, in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil, there is a time at a 1 o'clock game where the sun is definitely.
Here's what I have to say briefly, is this occurs in baseball a lot. There are a lot of stadiums that are open roofed but can be closed or have like those side windows, what have you. Seattle is the most notorious in my mind, where you will have games that start and the pitcher is in shade and the batter's in sunlight. And it is
I remember seeing plenty of those games.
But Seattle's the one that stands out. And it's like, if a batter can still hit a pitch in that, which I will always fight for this, hitting a fucking baseball is the hardest thing to do in any single sport, period.
Yeah,
and
I would agree with
if
that.
they can do that, I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb like, there's no way in fuck you didn't see a moment of that ball. But then I also look at Jerry Jones and I'm like, you could have literally just built the stadium sideways from how it's oriented right now.
Right.
And quite literally, this problem would never happen.
Either that or like put some tint on the window or put a giant like shade on the window. Like anything.
Like you built this shit from scratch. You can put fucking improvements on it as time goes by. You can do that.
And on top of it, it's just like the fact that he's like, yeah, we know the sun's there. Like when we do the coin flip, we know where it's going to be. You're an indoor stadium. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Like if you're an outdoor stadium, that's one thing. The sun is going to be an element. The weather is an element, all of that. But if you specifically build a dome, this should not be something that your own team has to fucking worry about.
Ever. Especially one of the best and highest paid receivers in the league. And I don't care who's throwing to him. There's no way that nature itself should impair CeeDee Lamb from catching that.
Oh, I agree. He still should have caught that ball.
Exactly. Like, I mean, was it a weird play? Yes, because it was based on what I've seen, it was initially meant for Jake Ferguson, I think. And then it finds its way through when they show the side angle, it does get deflected a little bit. But he was open as hell. Like it literally, he had the distance between his defender. If he had any actual vision on that ball, because he is CeeDee Lamb, we know how good he is. He would have just stopped and caught it. So it is one of those, like, Yes, immediately after the play, he goes, "Yeah, I couldn't see it." Like, cool.
Right.
If you're driving down that direction of the field, the sun's been behind you the whole time. You have to at least in your head go, "That might be a thing." Think ahead.
Right.
But to yours and our points in agreement, like the player should not have to. Like there should be something that Jerry Jones could have installed over that stadium is not new now. Like it's been around for a long fucking time now.
Right.
Like so they could have absolutely installed something that would just completely alleviate that for both teams involved. And if they want to be fuckheads, they could just do it literally like if the Cowboys are going towards the sun, block it. And then if their opponent's going towards that way, open it. Because, of course, I would have fully not put it past Jerry to do some shit like that. But
exactly.
It is just stupid to me.
Jerry Jones is worth billions of dollars. You definitely have the fucking money to put a shade or something up there. Like there's literally zero excuse to not have something there at this point, especially with how many times the media has asked you the question.
Exactly. That's the other thing too, is the attention has been brought to this issue repeatedly, and it's still not been improved upon. Yeah, and now, truth be told, it would have made a difference in the result of the game. I think, like at that point in the game, it would have given the Cowboys the lead when that throw was occurring, and then anything after that would have been different than how it went because different kickoff, different everything. So
pressure is different because you're down now.
Exactly. So it mattered, and as an Eagles fan, I don't give a fuck. I'm glad if screwed with their own players, but it is stupid that a stadium's design is impairing your home team, like ever. I don't care who you are. I guess it's just a shit design. So, and just a dumb comment by him. Like his handling of anything has just been piss poor for a long time.
And that statement too, he went on to keep saying like, "Oh, what are we gonna bring up? Like, we're there's the sun, where's the moon?" And it's like, what does that have to do with fucking anything?
Who gives a fuck about the moon? You know when daylight savings was? Where the sun, it's like that earlier the sun is going to be down now because the clock shifted, and if you had designed your stadium in an appropriate way, you wouldn't have this issue for your own fucking players. But here we are because you're a clown. And it actually makes me elated to know that even after he is gone, his kids are going to take over, and they're just as fucking stupid. Because I've watched their season of All or Nothing on Amazon, and that same level of arrogance and know-it-allness definitely made it to the next generation. Trust me. So,
classic.
I know but it is wild because in sports, you never even imagine that sort of thing coming up. And then to have a team owner say something that ridiculous is, you know what I mean? It's just, you don't expect it. And then when it happens, you're like, what the fuck am I hearing? So
exactly. Especially, it's not like you're asking the coach who doesn't have the ability to change anything like that. You're asking the guy who has the full ability to make those changes, and he's just not.
And actually, just for 2 seconds, because you brought up the coach, obviously Michael Parsons, his comments post-game have made some noise. And I'm going to say this bluntly. I am not even 1% mad at Michael Parsons for this shit at all.
I would take Michael Parsons on the Ravens.
I'm not 1% mad at him because we know exactly how good he is, and he had a good game.
Right.
And I don't care how many points their defense gave up when Micah did his job and other people clearly didn't do their shit. And him saying Mike McCarthy can get a job somewhere else. It's like, that's accurate because he's been in the league a long time. He has a Super Bowl ring as a coach. He will get a job, even if he doesn't necessarily deserve it, which I don't think he does. that's just the truth. And I look at Micah and I'm like, all right, when's your free agency, sunshine? Because you definitely deserve to be somebody. It's like somewhere that can win and actually,
for sure,
has a front office that gives a shit about the players and winning. And I
know a team that needs a pass rusher.
Same, because Bryce Huff ain't it.
Yeah, and the Ravens have 0 pass rushers.
Bryce Huff's gotten better, to give him some credit. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Saquon like, look, you're an Eagle now. Please recruit your best friend. Please, I beg you. I beg
seriously.
you. Make it happen. Cut everybody that isn't worth a goddamn thing for every dollar and just get Micah in here, please. But it like I understand his frustration. Like any Cowboys fan that wants to criticize him, it's like, okay, well, your team sucks and they can't win playoff games. And Micah Parsons, his entire life and football career dating back to God knows when, only knows winning.
Yep.
So he's going to be frustrated because he has every right to. And if you disagree with that, you've never played. And it's that simple.
It's not like this is the third string random person saying something here.
No, it's a guy who's perennial defensive player of the year candidate.
Exactly. And
he's being wasted. And I know he's being wasted. And as an Eagles fan, I love it because he's so good. And the fact that the team around him is not obviously brings me joy.
Oh,
but I like who he is as a person. And I want to see him somewhere where he can fucking win.
Right.
And he's young enough that will happen.
Yeah.
I don't, because I think he's smart enough to know that signing a mega deal with the Cowboys would be a mistake. So I don't think we'll ever actually see him do that. And the fucking Flyers just gave up the tying goal, by the way.
Of course they did.
To the Sharks. They're the worst team in hockey. And we're fucking, goddamn it. 3-0. And it's tied.
Of course.
Fuck. I have to say this too because it's hilarious. Our head coach, John Tortorella, is wearing a hoodie. He's just wearing a hoodie behind the bench today. I do love this guy. I just know the Flyers do not have the depth or talent to actually compete with fucking anybody. But it is just like, come on, man.
Yeah. So, power rankings. The one I'm doing right away. I'm swapping the Panthers for the Giants.
Let's go, Bryce Young. You're out of Diddy's cellar. You're not getting fucking raped. Let's go.
You're only super ass now.
Yeah, you're super ass, but that ass isn't good enough for Diddy to slide in, so we're good. Oh, God. I need to, this is what wine does to me. Anybody listening, I am so sorry, but
we have to move Chicago down.
We do, because as much as we love the players, their coaching staff does not allow them to win games.
Exactly, which means the Patriots can go up to ass for right now because
that was a dominant win, man.
Exactly.
It was a dominant win. Got to give it to them.
Cleveland was on a bye, so they can stay. The Colts are still pretty super ass.
Please move the New York Jets down immediately. Please.
Oh, yes.
Brother. Like, just here, I have to rant on this. All right. Aaron Rodgers is so full of shit. I don't know how he actually looks at himself in the mirror and is happy with himself ever. You have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Tyler Conklin. He couldn't find a motherfucker in a phone booth. His throws were so bad. I'm surprised Devontae didn't beat the shit out of him after ripping his own dreads off. Like, it literally... I had that game on the entire time. Like, Eagles game was on the TV. Cardinals game was on the iPad. The Cardinals made the Jets look fucking awful. And props to the Cardinals. All props. Because they haven't given up a TD in 3 straight home games. That is awesome. Yeah. I love that for them. It's been a long time since the Cardinals defense has done anything like that. I actually think I will correct myself if I'm wrong on this. I actually think I saw the stat. That's the first time since like 1940 that the Cardinals have done that, which is insanity. And for anybody who didn't know, the Cardinals are like the oldest NFL franchise.
I think
literally, they're literally like the oldest one. But I mean, yeah, the Cardinals, they cooked the Jets. All their shit came out either like past well done or fucking pre-Pittsburgh as far as the steak is concerned. They just look horrible. And I mean, we are one loss away from moving them into Diddy's special cellar down there. So
I just want to say, our Week 8 power rankings had the Jets in Diddy's lube supplier category. We had someone comment on that community post.
Ooh.
And he said, I think it's a he. I'm not positive, so don't.
Fair enough.
Don't at me.
A human.
Yes. I'm about to bring up his comments here. He said, "We are flat out wrong about the Jets. I want to watch Rodgers burn. Trust me. They just have way too much talent and now momentum."
I was wrong.
3 hours ago, he comments, "I was wrong."
Look, you know what? My hat's off to you, Christian. You are like me. If I am fully just all in on something and am proven wrong, I will absolutely put my hands up and admit that. So cheers to you. I have no issue with you commenting that originally because at the moment I probably would have agreed with you. Like, they played really well in the game against Houston, and it would have made sense for them to take that and move on. However,
it would have made all sense.
Exactly. And then, however, they decided to just absolutely play horrendous as they have all year. And I think my favorite part of this whole saga is if you go to 2022, they were 6-4 through this number of weeks. If you go to 2023, they were like 4-6. If you go to now, they're 3-7 or 2-7 or whatever it is. Like, they have literally gone backwards, even though they went from Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers and they traded for fucking Devontae Adams. It is mind blowing. Also love that Sauce Gardner is out here just saying, yeah, firing Coach Salo was just really not the problem. Like, that was just not something that needed to happen. And I think he's 100% correct. I think Aaron Rodgers is old as shit, is not mentally involved or invested whatsoever in winning football games anymore. And it's just clear to me. It's just crystal clear. And I mean, their play calling's probably shit too, but his throws are just ass. And that's where we are now. So I'm so sorry for Jets fans that thought he was going to be the savior coming in. He is really not. And you guys are in really good position to draft a quarterback highly in this draft. And I hope you don't miss on that pick because you need it.
I'm moving the Saints up for the week.
Yep. Fully fine with that.
Especially because Dennis Allen got fired. They look like they're at least somewhat on the way in the right trajectory. Not saying that they're going to all of a sudden make the playoffs or anything, but
I mean, they got 7 L's. They're in trouble.
Yeah, they're just trending in the right direction.
Yeah. You beat a team you beat your division leading team.
Right.
And you guys were 2-7 at the time. That's a great win. You get to escape Diddy's dungeon.
Yep.
You may go back there if you don't behave.
May go back.
However, I think this is really unfortunate. Joe Flacco and the Colts do, in fact, need to move down.
I agree.
He looked.
That was a terrible game.
That was fucking awful.
That was really bad.
That was tough.
In mid, honestly, I think all of them deserve to stay in mid.
I do too. The Broncos had every right to win that game.
They did.
They did not, unfortunately. Obviously, San Fran would have won that game by a hell of a lot more if their kicker didn't miss fucking 3 field goals.
Yeah.
And then Tampa, as much as yes, they're 4-6. I don't give a shit. They shouldn't be competing in these games, but they are because Baker is playing out of his goddamn mind, and I love it. And I have to give him all the respect in the world because he's a top-class human being. And he's never shown anything otherwise. He's funny as hell. And he is absolutely balling with receivers that have no business being starting in this league. But here we are. So obviously he's got Kate Otten, but his top 3 were hurt this week, right? I mean, literally he was out. He was without Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and the Glove. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name because yeah. Like, how are you competing with the Chiefs? And I know that I am fully on board saying the Chiefs are overrated, and they have like 4 wins from just bullshit, either missed penalty calls or called penalties, and then fucking Mahomes getting caught on a hot mic this week asking a ref to tell him when a player's close to him. Shut your fucking mouth, son.
That was incredibly annoying.
But it's just like we've had this shit about the refs being Chiefs fans all year, and then you're gonna fucking say that? Are you serious? I'm sorry. I need a Marlon Humphrey late hit on Mahomes. I need it. Desperate. I don't care if the dude ends up in prison because he would.
Bring in the dude from UVA.
Bruh. I put me in. I don't care. He threw the ball 6 seconds ago. Fuck it. I'm not actually valuable to this team. Smack him. I mean, it's insane. Let me check the full NFL results this week. I think everything else feels fine because, like, here's the truth. The Texans are not going to not be a playoff team. We know they're getting there.
My biggest question, I think, would be, do the Steelers move up?
I think so. I actually that might be the one move to do because it's like if I had to put right now, if you had the Chiefs facing the Steelers in Pittsburgh, I think the Steelers win.
I think they definitely could.
I think they could beat Buffalo because their defense is just special in that way. And then Russ is just getting better. And he acclimated the first game he played. I mean, literally. And then it's just going to get better. And his chemistry with Pickens is already top tier. And I love it because I've always liked Russ. And
Mike Williams has been a nice addition.
But that was the one thing I when I saw people criticizing that trade, I wanted to just say wait and see because I think Aaron Rodgers has been that shit that Mike Williams didn't have a chance to actually be anything with the Jets. And
we've seen Mike Williams be a good receiver with Justin Herbert.
And Phillip Rivers. Like he's been around a while. Like he's not some dude who's just new to the league. Like the guy has he's caught game-winning touchdowns in clutch time against the Chiefs in Kansas City for the Chargers. The dude is fine. He gets hurt a bit more than you'd like, but this is obviously a sport that that's the thing that happens. I'm going to say this, and I really want you to agree with me, but if you don't, I get it. After the Eagles' absolute dominance for the last many weeks in a row, I have to at least say that they should be the second NFC team in Super Bowl contenders.
I would put them up there. The defense, the thing that made me hesitate before was the defense. And the defense has now shown me that they can step up and really stop teams.
And you know what's nice too is like even early in the year we saw flashes, but it was before this group of personnel was what was getting used.
Right.
Like against the Saints, they held them to 9, or they held them to 12 points, 115-12 in New Orleans after they had scored 91 the first 2 weeks. That was my first glimpse of it because Jalen Carter just went fucking psycho that game. And obviously, once the bye week happened, and I think Fangio during the bye week clearly was just sitting there like, all right, what guys do I actually want on the field? What guys do I not want?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of worrying about anybody's feelings, he just did what he thought was best for the team, which is what I've been begging for from a defensive coordinator in Philadelphia for years. And he did it. And he was like, Gene, you're in. Quinion, you're covering wide receiver 1. Slayer on wide receiver 2. You got Blankenship and Gardner Johnson in the safety spots. Zach Baun and Nakobe Dean is becoming one of, and it's not even like an Eagles fan perspective. They are one of the best linebacker duos in the league, period.
Right.
Their chemistry together every week has just been getting better. They're making insane plays every week. Baun has a highlight every week. You don't expect highlights out of linebackers when they're not like these names that are just glued in your head. Like if it was 2005, I'd expect to see a highlight from Ray Lewis every week.
Right.
But you hear Zach Baun and you're not necessarily like, oh yeah, totally. But this year, yes, because the scheme is right. His linebacker partner is right. And the guys he has behind him, he can rely on and trust. And that's what matters. And then the pass rush has stepped up hugely because I think the way they're doing the rotation has been better. And then the interior with Carter and Davis and all those Milton Williams like stepping up is improved to a degree that I think they could compete with anybody. Like obviously I would love if the matchup, it's nice that the matchup this week is a short week against a team that is at the top of the division with us, because it will show us where we're at or where we're not. And
for sure.
But that'll be the biggest test. It's like I won't move Washington at a playoff team until they have a record that shows that they are not one. Exactly. Even if they lose this week, I don't think they move because they're still 7-3. And I don't even think they've had their bye yet. So it's like,
and they've only been losing to teams that have come into it definitively better than them.
Exactly.
Like they lost to the Steelers, they lost to the Ravens. Like they lose to teams that have the pedigree and the history and everything of being up there with established players, established quarterbacks, established defenses in terms of the Steelers. Like, and in both games, they barely lost.
Yeah. And nothing about that is unimpressive. You know what I mean? It's literally like, I can't take away from you because of a loss like that. And you have a rookie quarterback. Like we had, literally you go rewind to before week 1 and what people's expectations of that team were.
Right.
I thought they were going to be good. And I think you did too, because it's just like, we know who Jaden Daniels is.
We knew for damn sure they were at least going to be better than the Giants.
Yeah. But I think I literally predicted like if the Eagles are first, they're second. Or if we're second, they're first. Like it literally, I'm like, people are fully underappreciating the difference that Jaden Daniels makes for this team.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me because I'm like, how can you look at what they had in the past and not understand that a guy who comes in who is an elite runner at quarterback who also can just absolute laser anywhere on the field? Like, how can you pretend he's not going to make a difference with Terry McLaurin?
I feel the best for is Terry McLaurin because of all of the terrible quarterbacks he's had to endure.
I feel great for Austin Eckler too, because I'm like, everybody wrote you off too, because you kept getting hurt, and like obviously he had Herbert and he balled out in San Diego and LA because he was on both before they moved. Like, stoked for him, and obviously I wish B-Rob was healthy because I do like Brian Robinson a lot. But it's not like one injury is gonna destroy their chances. Like literally, they built themselves the right way, even with all these trades they made of these guys that were supposed to be like their stars. It hasn't really hurt them that much. So I have to fully give props to Washington, man. Like the ownership change, which happened kind of by force because their previous owner was an absolute piece of shit. And again, you know what? I'll cheers to that. Thank you, Washington, for being a good organization and knowing that you needed to oust your ownership. when they were a piece of shit, I will absolutely tip my cap to that, because
Amen.
any one of these teams in any league that allows a shitty owner to continue owning the team can kiss my ass.
Yep.
But I'm loving seeing Washington do well. Even as an Eagles fan, I'm like, Jane Daniels will never get anything negative from me. He was awesome player in college, great guy, so humble.
It's nice seeing the parity. Like, it's nice
Yeah.
seeing like these other teams actually step up and do well that like we originally wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, but they were one of those teams I thought, like, even preseason, I'm like, I think people are overlooking them. It's like Terry McLaurin's an absolute stud. Brian Robinson's a stud. They signed Eckler, and if Eckler stays healthy for, let's say like 14 out of the 17 games, he'll give you everything he's got. And then they signed Noah Brown off the Texans waivers, and I was like, that's such an under the radar sneaky signing, because he's just good. And then Ertz has been awesome. Like,
he has been.
Everybody thought, oh, he's past his prime. It's whatever. It's like, yeah, but he was on Arizona when they had Trey McBride too. It's like he's not going to get the largest target share there because Trey McBride's incredible.
Well, I also like the fact that they have Ben Sennett learning from Zach Ertz through his rookie season.
Yeah, it's like Zach Ertz is 6th all time in catches by tight ends. 6th.
Yeah.
He's been in the league since 2013. He's literally as veteran as it gets at that position, minus it's the same year as Kelsey. I can't even say minus Kelsey. They were drafted the same fucking year. So it's like, you can't overlook him. And then you look at the Super Bowl Ertz had. It's like the dude has had the experience in all the moments. He had double-digit catches in a fucking Super Bowl against a team that was supposed to destroy them. And he caught a game winner. I mean, it's just like, oh, Rams missed field goal. Bummer. It was a bomb. It was a 57-yarder, but it's yeah. I mean, like I look at the power rankings now. There's a couple teams that I'm like, but then I have to look at records and I'm like, yeah, they have to stay. Like the Falcons. Like, yes, they lost to the Saints, but there's no threat to them being not a playoff team in this next week.
Right.
Now, if they lose 2 more and the Bucs win 2 more, then yeah. Guess what? They're tied. But at the moment, I can't see moving those two. The Vikings, they're 7-2. I can't move them. They look like shit, but I can't move them.
Right.
And then you look at like the Chargers, and you're like, maybe they move. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they move up. Maybe they move down. But they're in that weird leeway right now because obviously they're in the Chiefs division, so they're always going to be fighting for a wild card. It's a weird year.
Yeah, it is.
Because the Chargers just beat the number 1 passing defense. As much as the Titans are dog shit, which is why they're at the bottom.
Yeah.
They have the number 1 passing defense in football. They're just that bad offensively that it just doesn't matter.
Exactly. The only thing I would think about here is moving Atlanta down, just because they have been kind of disappointing the last couple weeks. But I'm also comfortable with keeping them where they are because their division is just like Tampa Bay would 1,000% be above them if they were actually healthy.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. Like, literally, if Tampa Bay had never had any injuries, I think they would be like 7-3, and the Falcons would probably be like 5-5. Like, that's where we're at. Right. Unfortunately, because this is a sport that just injuries happen far too often, because it is so physical. This is where we are. I think the only team that we could move, but the game won't end in time, is the Rams.
True.
And we might even want to move them now because they have not been looking good tonight. San Fran did look good in their game, even despite 3 missed field goals. They played fine. It was just literally Baker Baker was playing like a fucking unit. That made that game close. I don't know. It is tough. Like the do you want to move the Jags down. We could do that if we want to move one
We
more
can do
team.
that. We
I'm
can
fine.
definitely do that.
They were like, "Oh, Mac Jones will save us." He did not. Unfortunate. Yeah, I think I'm fine with this for one more week. I think we'll have a lot more changes next week. That's kind of where.
Yes. I agree. Definitely agree with that. So with that being said, let's jump into our picks real quick so we can get into the Immaculate Grid.
Yeah, it'll be open now, so it's just ready to go.
So we can we've pretty much already talked about a bunch of these.
This is a cool one. I haven't seen one of these in a while. The right column up and down is Alabama. So you have obviously it's all right. It's kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie, because the left side is Dolphins, Ravens, Eagles. So I could literally just go Tua, Humphrey, Devontae, right?
Yeah, or Derrick Henry.
But we're not going to do that because we need to find the lowest percentage guy. So
yeah.
All right.
Thursday night, obviously, Eagles, Washington.
I'm going full homer because it's in Philly. I'm taking the Eagles.
I think I'm just going to go opposite of this one.
And that's
because it is such a tight game, I believe. And Washington has been so close lately. So I think I'm going to go Washington with this one. So
fair enough.
We'll see. It definitely, I don't feel strongly about them winning this game, but I could see it go both either way.
I mean, McLaurin always has good games against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Ertz will want to have a good game against the Eagles. And then obviously for Jaden, he is always motivated by tough opponents. So
exactly.
I 100%. I could see either way. I genuinely could see the Eagles losing on Thursday night. I just don't want it to happen.
Other than the Ravens Bengals Thursday night game, I think this will probably be the most exciting Thursday night game of the season.
I agree. I think the fact that it's in Philly helps because the crowd noise is going to go fucking insane because it is. It is the biggest game of the year for the Eagles by far, in my opinion.
I agree.
So,
speaking of the Ravens, we have the first of two Ravens-Steelers classic rivalry games.
All right. I know who you're picking.
Yes, I'm going to be picking the Steelers.
Just put it on mine too, because because it's Pittsburgh. That's the only reason. If this was I think literally they'll flip. If it's Baltimore, I think Baltimore wins at home by tight. Same deal. I think because it's in Pittsburgh and Russ has been playing well, I think
makes sense.
Yeah.
There's always been a highly contested game in my household because my wife and her family are all Steelers fans. So I'm curious to see if we'll actually watch just the game or if we'll keep watching Red Zone. Sometimes we just watch Red Zone so that neither one of us gets pissed off.
Fair. And you know what? For our mental health sake, I love that. And here, I need to see exactly what it is. Okay, so week 13, what is the date? December. All right. Remind me to request off December 1st because that's the day I need you and her to come over here and watch the Eagles Ravens. And we will do a live stream while watching that because we're both going to just be losing our shit. So, to be fair, but we got to do it at least once.
I agree. So that takes us to Green Bay at Chicago. Green Bay coming off of their bye.
Then I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah, same. I can't, in good faith, pick the Bears after what they've been doing after the past few weeks.
I mean, I just look at Green Bay and I'm like, yes, they've had some games that they could have won that they lost. However, I look at a guy like Xavier McKinney, one of the best, probably the best free agency signing overall across the league. The impact he's had on that defense, I fully see him having at least one pick in this game because you can blame Caleb, you can blame the receivers. I'm not blaming either one. I'm blaming the coaching, and Green Bay is just clearly the better team, and it's not even close in my opinion. we can both absolutely just move right past this one, because if they start Mac Jones again, they're going to lose. Detroit's going to win by 90.
Both picking Detroit there.
You have Tyreek Hill?
I do.
Touchdown Tyreek Hill.
I think that's only like his second of the season.
It's a 1-yard catch, but it counts for a touchdown. So who gives a fuck?
Fuck yes.
Oh, they lined him up right next to the tight end too. Oh my God, he's so open, it's embarrassing. Sick. Tennessee. All right, this could be a nice different one. Are you gonna pick Minnesota?
I am gonna pick Minnesota.
All right, I'm gonna pick Tennessee.
Okay,
I'm gonna do it. Darnold has not looked good since the bye.
This is true.
And he threw 3 picks against the fucking Jags. Now he has to deal with a defense, as far as like against the pass is concerned, has been unbelievable.
True.
If they have Snead on Jefferson, I know he'll still probably have at least like 50 yards. He won't have more than that though. Tennessee played well this week. They didn't win.
That's true.
They played okay though.
Will Levis wasn't the worst.
Exactly. And I don't think he's going to become God. However, I think they've been due for a win for a while. I'll pick them in this one.
All right. A game that probably is going to suck. Las Vegas at Miami.
Miami wins by a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, based on even what I'm seeing right now, it's like, yes, obviously the Dolphins, the season's not going how they wanted. Injuries have happened. It fucking sucks, especially like on Tua. He played well against the Bills, even in a loss. He's playing really well tonight. The fumble that I mentioned before, I cannot blame him for any of that. He literally had 3 dudes on him in about a second and a half. Like, there was not a chance for him to even make reads and try and get rid of that. So
sounds about right.
Yeah. So and the Raiders they are a dumpster fire of an organization, man. We might have, I'm going to have fun this week because I'm pretty sure you're going to pick the Rams, right?
No, I'm actually picking the Patriots.
All right, then we're not going to have fun because I'm also picking the Patriots.
Okay. Because the Rams suck away from home, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
that's evident. That's evident right now, trust me.
Exactly. And the Patriots are riding high after that win because not only was it like a solid win, but like they made the Bears look terrible. So I like what Drake May's got going on so far.
So do
and Ramondre Stevenson has been a little bit better from the start of the year. So I kind of like what they have right now.
Ramondre is another player that if they just build the right O-line and have a receiving core that demands defensive attention, will become one of the league's elite running backs. He is a stud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm complete agreement. As much as Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are healthy, they're healthy right now, and they're not doing shit. So
exactly.
Christian Gonzalez for the Patriots, a great corner. I think he'll do his job. Let's just both pick New Orleans and move on. I don't want to. Go ahead. Go. You pick famous Jameis. I'll pick Derek Carr.
I would say Jameis revenge game against the Saints. I think that's what I'm going with.
All right.
Now we got Colts at the Jets.
The worst game of the fucking season. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was about to say, which is harder to pick than it definitely should be.
Oh my God. Do we want to use the same philosophy? Joe Flacco revenge game?
I'm down with that.
Let's fucking do it. I hate the Jets so much. I can't actually pick them in any week ever.
I will always like Joe Flacco over anybody on the Jets.
Okay, I lied. I don't hate the Jets. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I like Sauce Gardner.
True. Sauce Gardner is good. I like Sauce Gardner. So that brings us to Atlanta at Denver, which should be a pretty interesting game. I'm taking I'm taking Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix has been good over the past few weeks. And
I wish we had more differences, but I'm also taking Denver.
okay.
Because like Cousins has every bit of an arsenal that he could ever want. And he had 306 yards, no touchdown passes. I can't. Against that defense where everybody's healthy again in Denver, and anybody who wants to, like, sometimes away doesn't make a difference. It makes a fucking difference in Denver. Trust me.
No, it does.
It is a big difference. So, yeah. The Broncos, I don't care what their record is. They're 5-4 now. It's not perfect. They are a good team. And Bo Nix was clearly the correct QB for Sean Payton. And they're just going to keep getting better. And Atlanta's a tough opponent, but it would be a huge win for them. So I hope they get it.
Seattle at San Fran. Seattle's coming off of their bye as well. As of right now, I don't think the status of DK Metcalf is known for this game.
Yikes.
So with San Fran getting healthier, I think I'm going to go San Fran. Christian McCaffrey got through his first game back. I mean, it's not like McCaffrey didn't have like the greatest game, but again, first game back of the season in week 10. So that's a lot of rust.
Can I give you an update from 4 hours ago, just in case this changes your mind?
Yeah.
DK is expected to practice Wednesday.
Okay.
If it doesn't change your mind, I don't care because I am taking Seattle. But
okay, yeah, I don't think it is going to change my mind.
That's fine. We need some differences.
Yeah.
I want to see Seattle beat the 49ers again because it's in Seattle, and I know they've had a rough time at home coming out of their bye. They've had a rough time all around. They've had, and actually, San Fran's home record I don't think is actually that good.
I don't think it is either, to be honest.
So I'm going to just hope for once in his very humble, respectable life that Geno Smith balls out in San Fran. Okay, you want good news? The Flyers won in a shootout. The fact that it took a shootout is appalling, but they won.
But at least they won.
They won, and it wasn't against a team in their division, so the Sharks getting a point is completely irrelevant. Thank God.
Good.
I just saw it, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. Okay. So Flyers goalie made all the saves. Michkov and Konechny scored for the Flyers in the shootout. So they basically won 2-0 in the shootout. So that's beautiful. All right. Nice. Buffalo, Kansas City. I'm taking Buffalo. I'm not even going to think about it. I need the Chiefs to be 9-1 so desperately. It's actually embarrassing.
I have to agree with you because I don't want the Chiefs to win. I just don't want it.
And I don't care what it takes. If Josh Allen has to literally remove a man's soul, piss on it, and light it on fire, I don't care. Please. For the love of God. You're at home against a team that's undefeated that has been the thorn in your side for like 5 fucking years. Please beat them. I beg you. The end.
Agreed. I'm just going to leave it at that because I can't say that any better.
This next one's tough.
Actually. Cincinnati at the Chargers is tough. I think I'm going the Chargers because I think that, to me, it seems like the Chargers offense has started to find a better rhythm, especially because like Herbert is able to find and make his receivers actually look good. And that's a lot better than anyone expected because his receivers have all been trash outside of Ladd McConkey. So I love that. And the Chargers defense is a lot better than the Ravens defense, to be honest. So that's how I think I'm going Chargers.
If T. Higgins is not back, which I don't think he will be, because we haven't heard shit about him. I mean, if we're looking at literally like the matchups the Ravens had for Jamar versus what the Chargers have, as much as I want to believe that the Bengals could turn this shit around, this is not the team to do it against. I'm also going to take the Chargers.
Okay.
I just think that their defense is literally, even still, underappreciated, even though they're performing so well. No one's actually giving them nearly enough respect in the NFL media for what they've done so far this season. Even against the Chiefs, it's like obviously the Chiefs were up 10-0. They should have won that game. They did not. Or the Chargers were up 10-0. And it's like, that sucks. We all know that sucks.
Yeah.
They held the Chiefs to 17. Yeah. I think Jamar Chase, if Jamar Chase breaks 100 yards, I will be shocked. You can just go ahead and copy paste that. If it's fucking Cooper Rush again, I don't care that Houston just lost a game they should have won.
Even if it's Trey Lance, Houston's beating Dallas.
Yes. Period. Yeah. If Dallas wins that game, brother, I don't know what I'll do to myself because that just doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our picks are finalized. This is what we try to do. And our records are pretty close. I'm 30 games above 500. He's 18, but obviously it's a 6-game. It's just a 6-game difference. Like, as crazy as that is, but we are quite close, and we love doing this. This is fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun,
and I'm just so thankful that I don't have a losing record because I'd be really embarrassed. But we both have winning records, so we're doing good.
Exactly.
But yeah, all right. I will bring up
Immaculate Grid time.
Grid here for us real quick. So a top column or top row, we have the Rams, Saints, and Alabama. The columns, we have the Dolphins, Ravens, and my beloved Eagles. It's cool that we actually have both our favorite teams on here. I love that.
I know. I like that.
Big fan of that. All right. So I'm going to take some time and think of an Eagles Alabama one that is not Devontae Smith.
Ravens Saints
or Jalen
would be
Hurts.
Willie Snead the fourth.
Okay, that's a W. We're absolutely locking that in because I loved Willie Snead. I think it was at IE. I believe it was Willie.
Yes, I believe so.
I found him. He does exist. He's way too far down. 8% W. Under double digits is always a W. There's an offensive lineman from the Ravens and Rams. I feel like maybe.
Oh, there probably is. I was thinking wide receiver, but there probably is.
Too.
Oh! The wide receiver.
Give me clues.
Chris. It's something very basic. It's shit. It's right there. I'm gonna have to check.
All right, just get this. Yeah, because that at this point, like you know exactly who it is. You see spelling.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I accept that. All right. Saints. Oh, the easiest one in the history of this fucking grid is Saints fucking Dolphins. Ricky Williams, but we don't want to do that. So anybody watching or listening, we always try to do this Immaculate Grid in the stupidest way possible, where we find the lowest percent people, not the high ones. Because it's way more interesting and fun.
Plus, you get the better score.
Yeah, well, I know the Eagles Saints highest probably because it's so recent as CJ Gardner-Johnson.
True.
So we could do Malcolm Jenkins. That's probably another one that's pretty high.
That probably is higher.
That's probably really fucking high. Okay.
The highest one for Ravens Saints is probably Mark Ingram.
100. Yeah, that has to be. So I'm glad you said Willie Snead. Because there's obvious one, like I said, for the Alabama ones, there's like so obvious ones. But
the one I was thinking of, the guy I was thinking of, I was actually wrong. I was thinking of Chris Moore. I thought he played one season for the Rams, but I was wrong.
Who did they have? David Moore?
Maybe. I don't know.
So I know he was like a Panther, and then he went elsewhere for a while, and then became a Panther again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of just really obscure motherfuckers that would have been all over the damn place, but
That's also what I'm trying to think.
it's not actually that easy. Ravens Rams is interesting for me.
I know there's a few in my head that I'm definitely thinking of, but like I just can't place the name. Ooh, James Harden is down on the ground.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened, but oh, here we go. He tried to make a switch onto SGA.
I'm just gonna lock in Malcolm Jenkins because I need to.
Oh, elbowed in the face.
Oh. 17's not that high, actually. I thought that would be way higher.
Yeah, I thought that would be higher too. That's actually pretty surprising.
Won a fucking Super Bowl with both of them.
Yep.
Like, all right. Saints, Dolphins. Is there an obscure running back, quarterback, or wide receiver at any point in their careers?
Saints, Dolphins.
Because there's got to be. There's got to fucking be. Because I do not want to put in Ricky Williams, just to be clear.
Yeah, I know.
But if we have to, I will.
Saints, Dolphins. There's definitely... I feel like there's definitely a wide receiver, but could even be a tight end.
All right.
For some reason, that comes to mind.
I have to do this. I have to do it because it's hilarious. Point one, goated.
Oh, Jordan Howard. That makes sense.
I feel so bad for that guy.
You know, I also just realized we could have used Ricky Williams for Ravens Saints,
which is crazy, but that probably would have been actually. I can guarantee that would have been lower than Willie Snead. That has to be.
People probably don't remember him on the Ravens at all.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So perfect that Jordan Howard's still in an Eagles jersey in that picture too.
Oh yeah,
that's so good. There was actually a ton, so I looked up a list because I was curious, and then his name came to mind. But you ready for this? Because this list is long as shit, and it's players we fucking really, really know.
Which one is this for?
Fucking Dolphins, Saints.
Oh, okay.
This list is long, and there's like, God, trust me, like Teddy Bridgewater, Reggie Bush, Mike Gillislee, Ted Ginn, Jordan Howard, Ricky Williams. Let's see. Let's go. There's plenty more, I promise you. Because I look, Kenny Stills. That's another one that should have absolutely stood out in my head. Because he went Saint, Dolphin, Saint. Cedric Wilson. Still playing.
True.
Only has 11 catches this year for the Saints, but he was a Dolphin the 2 years prior. Eli Apple. What a fucking bum. What an absolute bum. Let's see. There's plenty of names on here. Let's go ahead and scroll down because this list is long as shit. I was actually like, what the fuck? Usually there's only like a couple names. You're like, yeah, we know them. And then everybody else is from like before us.
Right.
Which is fine. But yeah. I mean, that was like 8 names that we know because they're modern.
Yeah.
Miami, Alabama.
Miami, Alabama.
I mean, we have the lock. We have the lock, which is we have 2 actually. Jalen Waddle or Tua are both
true.
The obvious.
They definitely have a defender that went to Alabama as well.
Hold on, let me make. Did Minka Fitzpatrick, was he at Alabama?
I thought so.
Okay. I
He
think that
sounds
works.
familiar.
I think it works based on what I just literally read when I clicked the Alabama thing. Okay. 8%. I'll take that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a W. We're obviously not doing Derrick Henry or
Nope.
Mark Ingram because both of them are, I think, probably pretty high.
I feel like Marlon Humphrey would probably be pretty high too, because he talks about Alabama all the time.
He doesn't actually shut up about it ever.
The Ravens have had so many Alabama people too.
Oh no, it's frustrating.
Did Patrick Queen go to Alabama?
LSU.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
At least that one I have locked in my brain because I remember his hype coming out of college.
Right.
And it was just literally like nonstop LSU. I was like, please shut up. Like, beg you. Ooh. All right. I got one for the Eagles. I hope this isn't too high, but I think Landon Dickerson literally was Alabama. I need to actually confirm that or I'm going to be really embarrassed. I'm pretty sure it's 100%. But no, he's Florida. No. And the Alabama. Okay. He was Florida State first. He transferred.
Okay.
5%. Let's fucking go. All right.
Damn,
Huge.
that's a good one.
Huge. All right.
Fuck. Why can't I think of anybody?
I was about to be so.
I just thought of Rams Ravens.
Go ahead. Do it.
Eric Weddle.
Oh, Eric Weddle. I literally, as soon as you said it, I was like, wait. Yeah, please don't be too high. 23. That's not too bad.
23? Really?
That's not too bad. I'm not mad at that.
There's probably a few other guys that I just did not think of. But if we're talking Alabama,
I think that one because he played so long.
True.
And props to him for coming out of retirement with the Rams and getting a Super Bowl dub.
Yeah, that's big.
Super proud of him for that. Rams, Eagles. All right. Okay. I got the easiest one, Nick Foles, but we can ignore that for a moment. Rodney McLeod. You want me to shoot that?
Rodney McLeod's a good one.
That's 100% correct. I just don't know what the percent will be. I hope it's not too high, but 0.8. How, bro? He literally was like one of our biggest free agent signings and he won a Super Bowl. What the
shit? 0.8?
People be forgetting, bro. I don't understand.
Good Lord.
That's insanity, actually. Are there any O linemen for the Ravens that you can just think of offhand that were Alabama guys? Because that would probably be a free low percentage W because people forget O linemen.
There probably is. I'm trying to think.
Actually, let me laugh. I'm gonna. Oops! I fucking deleted the grid. We're gonna reopen it, and it's gonna be just fine. Give me 1 second.
All right.
All the picks are still there. Boop. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna look up the 2015 Ravens roster.
Okay.
Because and that's just a random year. Because Alabama just makes O linemen like it's their fucking literal job. So
there is C.J. Mosley.
True.
Obviously not an offensive lineman, but
that one might be good because it's like.
But he's still playing.
True, but because he's one of those, and I say obscure, but like linebacker is obscure in the minds of fans that are casuals.
True. Marshall Yonda did not go to Alabama.
Did you know that Kyle Juszczyk went to Harvard? Did you know that?
I did not know that, to be honest.
Because I didn't know that, and Pro Football Reference just told me that, and I am shook now.
I did not know that.
That is kind of unbelievable. All right, cool. All right, none of these starters. God, the 15 Ravens roster was wild. Colorado State, fucking Utah starters up in here.
Who else? Oh, there's another linebacker. Courtney Upshaw.
Ooh. Oh, brother, that one's gonna be so. All right, yeah, we gotta do it. That's gotta be low as fuck. 1%. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. We'd love that. Oh, okay. All right. The obvious Rams Dolphins just clicked in my head is fucking Jalen Ramsey.
True. That's definitely the obvious one.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, that's another good one.
Has he suited? All right.
He has suited for Miami.
Then it should count.
But do you think it's going to be a low one?
I feel like it is because he's just like, I feel like a lot of people would have thought he was retired. I don't know. It probably won't be because he's still playing. I'm
trying to think if there was a running back.
There had to be, but that's my problem is I don't know who, because it's like Mostert obviously came from San Fran.
Did Ryan Fitzpatrick play for both of them?
Fucking problem.
I don't know if he played for the Rams.
I don't think he played for the Rams.
Oh, you know who might have?
Ooh, hold on. Damn it. That would have been so clutch. All right.
Was it this guy? No, he played for the Chargers and the Dolphins. Damn it. I was thinking Ronnie Brown.
What a piece of shit.
I didn't realize he was drafted 2nd overall.
Huh.
The Rams. I just always forget Rams players for whatever reason.
Okay. There's a name I have to type in here, and I'm so sorry that I cheated on this, but he was an Eagle as well, and this is hilarious because I didn't know this about Jaws himself, Ron fucking Jaworski.
Really?
Yeah. So he started his career for 3 years with the Rams. Then he was in Philly for 10 seasons. And then after he had a year off, in 1988, he was a Dolphin, started all 6 games, or played in, he was there for 16 games healthy, started in 1 game, had 1 touchdown, no picks, and then he ended his season in ended his career, in Kansas City.
I also just figured out another one at the same time.
Who you got?
Randy McMichael.
Oh my Lord. I mean, this score has got to be one of our lowest. I mean, we have 0.6, 0.1, 0.7, fucking 8, 7, 1, 5. I mean, we're
I'm mad at myself too because I just thought of one that would have been better than Eric Weddle. Kyle Bowler.
Oh my God, that was probably 0.01, bro. That's such a pull. Oh my God, no way. No fucking way. Ryan Fitzpatrick was correct.
For Rams Dolphins?
Yes.
Oh my, I don't remember him on the Rams at all.
You ready? In 05, 06, he was a Ram. And he's let's see, 5 games. His QB record was he was 0-3. Had 4 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Oh, God.
Yikes. Trent Green is also an answer that apparently would have been correct. Another legendary mid quarterback.
Classic.
Bro, there's actually so many names. My brain is bleeding right now. Danny Amendola, Kevin Curtis, AJ Feely.
Wow.
Let's see. I'm going down through all the names that I recognize immediately. Holy shit. Obviously, we had Beckham. That's fine. Wes Welker. Fuck you. That is 100% factual. He retired a Ram, I believe.
I forgot about him on the Dolphins.
Well, because oh man, I feel so bad for him. So he left the Broncos. All right. So 2013, he was a Bronco when they got shat on by the Seahawks.
Right.
And then 14, I think he was there. And then the year, I think 14 into 15, he became a Ram. And then obviously the Broncos then won the Super Bowl. That sucks. That sucks. Sorry, bud. That's a shame. Let's see. Malcolm Brown. I mean, he played a long time. Credit to Malcolm Brown. He was a Ram for 8 years. So good for you, buddy. Cortland Finnegan.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Cortland Finnegan out here still getting his ass beat by Andre Johnson. How you doing? Oh my goodness. Richie Incognito. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah, that asshole.
4 years as a Ram, 4 years as a Dolphin. They were back to back too. Oh my Lord. Robert Quinn. Forgot about that. He was a Ram for his prime. And then he was a Dolphin the year following. And then obviously after that, he ended up a Bear and then an Eagle. You said Randy McMichael. That name I see right here. Yeah, those are the main ones. But there's definitely some names. Oh, God. Donkey Kong Sue. Obviously, he left the Lions, went to the Dolphins first, and then was a Ram for one season.
Yeah.
And he did play the whole year. Credit to him. He did play the whole year. But
did he win the ring with the Rams? Is that when he went to the Rams?
It said 18, and I believe they won in what, 22, 21? 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
damn.
We still did really well. Our score was fucking 63, dude.
No, we did very well.
Super low. Love that for us.
Hell yeah.
Anybody who actually listened to us rambling, you're legends, by the way.
Yes. Big time legends.
Love you for that. But yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for listening and watching another week of the Sideline Specialist. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed it. Hit the like, hit the bell. It lets you know when we go live. We usually go live every Monday night, so be on the lookout for those. We are everywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Our videos are also on Spotify, so make sure you check them out as well. So we will catch everybody next week then. Peace.